Jordan Carter stepped off the bus, the Georgia sun beating down on him like a relentless spotlight. The air was thick with the scent of freshly cut grass and the faint traces of cologne wafting from the clusters of students milling about. Crestwood High loomed ahead, a grand red brick structure with tall windows that sparkled in the sunlight, a testament to old money and deep-rooted traditions. This wasn't just a school, it was a fortress of privilege, where the children of doctors, lawyers, and CEOs prepared to inherit the world. As he walked toward the entrance, Jordan felt the weight of stairs on his back. He was no stranger to this feeling. The scrutiny, the whispers, the way people tried to categorize him before he even spoke. Was he an athlete? A troublemaker? Did he come from the wrong side of town? Did he have a single mom working 2 jobs? They never asked, they just assumed. Tightening the straps of his backpack, he kept his expression neutral, shoulders relaxed, blending in as best as he could. Inside, the hallways buzzed with energy, lockers slamming, laughter echoing, sneakers squeaking against polished tiles. Jordan scanned the crowd, mapping out the social landscape. Cheerleaders huddled near their lockers, effortlessly radiant in their matching outfits. The rich kids lounged by the entrance to the senior hallway, designer backpacks slung over their shoulders, discussing ski trips and beach houses. The honor students clustered near the library, debating topics far beyond the average high school conversation. And then there were the jocks, impossible to miss, moving through the hall like they owned it. The center of them stood Tyler Brooks, the school's golden boy. Tall, broad-shouldered, with perfect blonde hair styled effortlessly, he exuded an aura of control that sucked the air out of the room. Jordan had seen guys like Tyler before, those who never had to ask for respect because it was given to them by default. They thrived on power, not because they deserved it, but because they were raised to believe it was theirs by birthright. Jordan exhaled slowly, adjusting his backpack strap. He had no intention of being noticed. If he was lucky, Tyler would ignore him, and he could get through the year without any unnecessary drama. But fate had other plans. Just as he passed by, a sharp shove hit his shoulder, enough to make him stumble but not enough to send him crashing to the ground. His textbook slipped from his grasp, hitting the floor with a heavy thud. The hallway hushed momentarily, a few heads turning, a few whispers starting. "Watch it," a voice drawled lazily. Jordan didn't need to look up. He knew it was Tyler. He stood over Jordan, arms crossed, that infuriatingly casual smirk still tugging at his lips. Behind him, a group of football players chuckled, as if they had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. "Well, well," Tyler said, tilting his head as if studying a strange new species. "Didn't know we had a transfer. You lost, kid?" The word kid hit like a slap. Jordan's jaw clenched, his grip tightening around the strap of his backpack. It wasn't an accident, it was deliberate. He bent down, fingers brushing against the cool tile floor as he picked up his book, moving slowly to stay calm. He could feel Tyler watching, waiting for a reaction. "I'm good," Jordan said evenly, meeting Tyler's gaze. "No problems here." Tyler raised an eyebrow. "Oh, we got a quiet one. What's your name, new guy?" "Jordan Carter," he replied, holding Tyler's gaze. Tyler's eyes flickered with recognition, amusement. "Carter? Let me guess, single mom, moved here for a better life, or getting away from trouble?" The words were a knife, sharp and precise. Jordan inhaled slowly, controlling the heat rising in his chest. He had heard it all before. The assumptions, the stereotypes, the backhanded insults wrapped in mock curiosity. He wouldn't take the bait. "Do you play ball, Carter? Football, basketball, or are you one of those track kids?" "I don't play anything," Jordan replied, his voice calm and steadied. Tyler's expression shifted, a break in the script. "No sports," he repeated, feigning surprise. "Huh, thought all of you." He stopped short, but the implication hung heavy in the air. Jordan exhaled sharply through his nose. He had played this game before. The best way to win was not to play at all. Without another word, he brushed past Tyler, walking away like he wasn't worth his time. But Tyler Brooks wasn't the kind of guy who liked being ignored. As Jordan walked away, he could feel the weight of Tyler's gaze, the silent promise that this wasn't over. The cafeteria at Crestwood High was a battlefield of its own. Long tables divided the room unofficially, the jocks in the center, ruling like self-proclaimed royalty, the cheerleaders beside them, effortlessly perfect, the honor students clustered near the back, and then the nobodies scattered along the edges. Jordan walked in, tray balanced in one hand, eyes scanning the room. He knew where he wasn't welcome. As he passed the jocks table, a sudden impact against his shoulder sent him off balance. His tray lurched forward, lukewarm spaghetti sauce sloshing over the edge. Laughter erupted from Tyler's table. Jordan inhaled slowly, gripping the tray tightly. He knew this routine: push the new guy, get him mad, make him lash out so they could call him the problem. He wasn't falling for it. "Damn, Carter," Derek, a stocky linebacker, drawled, draping an arm over the back of his chair. "Didn't see you there. You move real quiet." More laughter followed, and Jordan exhaled sharply through his nose. He set his tray down on an empty table, pulling a napkin from the dispenser to wipe his hands. He didn't give them a reaction. He just cleaned himself up and sat down. That alone seemed to piss Tyler off. "Man, you're real polite," Tyler called, amusement laced with something sharper. "That's good. You gotta be polite when you're in someone else's house." Jordan looked up, refusing to play their game. But he could feel it, the shift. The students nearby weren't laughing. Some were watching in awkward silence, others pretending not to hear. This wasn't just teasing anymore. It was something uglier, and Tyler thrived off that silence. Finally, Jordan lifted his gaze, meeting Tyler's across the cafeteria. For a second, something flickered in Tyler's expression. Annoyance, frustration. He knew he was supposed to be in control, but Jordan wasn't letting him have it. Then Tyler scoffed, rolling his eyes, leaning back in his chair like he was already bored. "Man, whatever," he muttered, more to his friends than to Jordan. "Ain't even worth it." Jordan went back to eating, hands steady, face neutral, but inside, he could still feel the heat in his chest. He knew Tyler wasn't done. People like him never were. The next morning, Jordan walked into school and saw his locker. It was covered in thick black marker, slurs, insults, words meant to cut deep. "Thug," "charity case," "go back where you came from." A crude drawing of a basketball next to his name made it clear what they thought of him. The message was clear: "You don't belong here." Jordan stopped, forcing himself to breathe. A few students lingered nearby, pretending not to stare but watching anyway, waiting for his reaction. A short, sharp laugh came from down the hall. Tyler, leaning against the lockers with Derek and a few other football players, arms crossed, that smirk still plastered across his face. Jordan exhaled through his nose, slow and steady. He didn't move right away. Instead, he let the silence stretch, let the tension build. Then, without a word, he reached into his backpack, pulled out a roll of paper towels and a bottle of water, and started wiping the marker off. The smirk on Tyler's face twitched, frustration flickering in his eyes. Jordan worked methodically, like he was scrubbing a stain off a desk instead of wiping away an attack meant to humiliate him. His movements were slow, deliberate, dismissive, like it didn't matter. And that glint more than anything seemed to piss him off. "Damn, Carter, you really going to act like that ain't even bother you?" Tyler's voice was sharp. Jordan didn't look up. He kept cleaning, refusing to give Tyler the satisfaction. Another chuckle, but it wasn't as confident this time. Tyler was waiting for something, some sign that he still had control over the situation. Jordan finished, capped the water bottle, tossed the ruined paper towels into the trash, and shut his locker with a sharp clang. Finally, he turned to Tyler and smiled. A cold, unimpressed smile, a silent challenge that said that was your best shot. At Tyler's smirk faltered, his fingers curling slightly at his sides, shoulders stiffening before he forced himself to relax. Jordan slung his backpack over one shoulder and walked past him, not breaking eye contact until the last second. Tyler didn't stop him, didn't say another word, but Jordan knew this wasn't over. Days passed, and Jordan watched as the shift continued. Tyler still walked the halls like he owned them, still held court at the center of every conversation, but something had changed. His friends hesitated before laughing at his jokes, their eyes darting to each other as if silently questioning whether they should. The effortless control he had over them was slipping. Jordan noticed it during lunch. Tyler was holding court at his usual table, recounting a play from the game, but Derek was distracted. He wasn't locked into Tyler's performance. His fingers drummed idly against the table, eyes flicking toward Jordan then away. Jordan didn't smile, he just waited. Later, he found Derek alone near the vending machines. Jordan stopped beside him, casual, nonchalant. "You ever get tired of it?" he asked. "Tired of what?" Derek replied, glancing up. "The whole performance." Jordan gestured vaguely. Derek stiffened. "Ain't no performance, man." Jordan chuckled, shaking his head. "Sure." Silence stretched between them, not uncomfortable but weighted. "You don't want to be on the outside," Jordan said finally. "You don't want to be the one people turn on." He reached down, grabbed a bag of chips, and crumpled it slightly in his hand. "But you see what's happening, right?" Derek didn't answer. Jordan stepped back, tossing the chips in his backpack. "You think Tyler would do the same for you?" Derek's jaw clenched, and Jordan let the question hang. He didn't need to hear an answer. He had already planted the seed. The next morning, the school buzzed with energy, not whispers this time, but full-blown murmurs. Jordan slowed his pace, adjusting the strap of his backpack. He had known Tyler would dig his own grave eventually. All he had to do was give him the shovel. Tyler's locker was covered in paper, screenshots, texts, private messages. Jordan slowed, his face unreadable. He had known this moment would come. Some messages were petty, Tyler trash-talking his teammates, others were worse, racist jokes, sexist comments, cruel insults. But the worst ones were about Derek, making it painfully clear Tyler never respected him. The hallway felt thick with something unspoken. Tyler shoved through the crowd, face pale, frantic. "What the hell is this?" he shouted, ripping down the pages one by one. No one answered. They stood back, watching but not interfering. Derek didn't move, didn't look at him. Jordan leaned casually against a locker, arms crossed, expression calm. He didn't have to say anything. Tyler already knew. Their eyes met, and for the first time, Tyler didn't smirk. He saw it now, the shift, the cracks had turned into a full collapse. "This is who you are, Tyler," Jordan said quietly. "The only difference is now everyone else sees it too." Tyler stood frozen, fists clenched, breathing sharp and uneven. The hallway was thick with silence, pressing down like a storm. No one rushed to help him. His friends stood at a distance, unwilling to go down with him. Derek was the first to break away, his face hard, unreadable, but his body language said everything. He turned and walked away. One by one, the crowd lost interest, whispering, shaking their heads, drifting off. No grand explosion, no dramatic fight, just quiet rejection. Jordan watched as Tyler turned toward him, expression twisted with rage barely contained beneath the surface, but it was fear that shone through. He wasn't in control anymore. "This was you," Tyler said, voice low, shaking. Jordan didn't answer right away. He let the words settle, then tilted his head slightly. "I didn't write those messages." "You did." Tyler's nostrils flared, hands twitching at his sides. Jordan held his gaze, calm but sharp. "If you throw the first punch now, it won't make you look strong. It'll make you look desperate." He turned and walked away, not needing to stay and watch the rest. By the end of the day, Tyler's name would be dragged through every group chat, whispered in every hallway. His reputation, the thing he had built his entire identity around, was crumbling beneath his feet. When Jordan stepped outside, the late afternoon air felt lighter. The familiar car was waiting at the curb, engine rumbling low. Terrence Carter leaned against the hood, arms crossed, watching with that knowing look that meant he had already heard. Jordan slid into the passenger seat, exhaling as he let his head rest back against the seat. Terrence raised an eyebrow, shifting the car into gear. "Done." Jordan nodded. "Done." Terrence smirked, pulling away from the school. Didn't even have to throw a punch. Jordan let out a breath of a laugh, shaking his head. Didn't need to. As the car rumbled down the road, the sun casting long shadows over the pavement, the weight of the past few weeks finally fell away. He had won, not by being louder, not by being stronger, but by being smarter, by being patient, by letting Tyler destroy himself. And as for Tyler Brooks, he was just another lesson. A reminder that power built on fear never lasts, and that sometimes the quiet ones are the ones you should fear the most.